Welcome to Saturday Night Child Protection Live with your host, Christopher Gelson with Protect Your Children Incorporated. Glad that you're here tonight. It is going to be a roller coaster of a night. On one side, we have good news, basically kids being rescued all over the country from trafficking and abuse situations, which is great news, a big change from what we're used to. But at the same time, we have to raise some awareness about some very dangerous situations that are popping up and presenting themselves to parents and to kids, because that's what we do. We raise awareness about these things. If you don't know about them, then how can you protect your kids? That's the question. If you don't know, then how can you protect your kids, right? So we're going to talk about some different things tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Jet. You guys have seen our posts about Jet the last week. If anybody out that follows us out there, you've seen that we've been posting about Jet. We are ramping up a promotional campaign to find the rapist and the kidnapper that did this to Jet. He was sexually assaulted. He was kidnapped. He was thrown in a dumpster and told to die. In Jet's words, the last thing this man said to him when he threw him in there was die, die, die. That is absolute evil and psychotic. So we're going to talk about that tonight and introduce you to the case as we ramp up to do a promotional campaign for Jet. So hope everybody can hear me well out there. Please let me know in the chat. Marie T says she shared the live stream. Thank you very much. Jay, if we can get you to share it, Rising, same thing. And others out there, please share the live stream and let me know if the sound is coming out there good. And if you can see, I would appreciate you letting me know about that. Also tonight, we're going to talk about, let's see, three different situations that are now available. They've been available for a little while, where they sound like great ideas, right? It's a fantastic idea. But turns out that it's very dangerous for kids, and it certainly aids in trafficking, and it helps the predators get access to our kids. So we want to make sure we let you know about that. Jay from Michigan says, you sound loud and clear, Chris. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that very much, Jay. Thank you. And so we're going to talk about that. And of course, we are going to tell you tonight how to protect your kids from kidnapping. You know, we can't just raise awareness about all the bad things that are going on and all the kids that are being kidnapped and trafficked and runaways and all that stuff and not tell you how to protect your kids. I mean, that's kind of important. It is in the name of our company, Protect Your Children Incorporated. It's interesting about that name because there's two meanings for that name. We are imploring people to protect their children by calling it Protect Your Children. And we're also saying that that's what we do. We aim to protect your children from online and community predators that are lurking everywhere now on the internet and all four corners of the internet and of the world, and in the schools and the Boy Scouts and in the churches and everywhere else. I mean, these people are going to go where the kids are. That's just the bottom line. And as you're going to hear when we talk a little bit tonight about Jet and his story, the predator, the kidnapper, was posing as an ice cream man. I mean, isn't that like the oldest trick in the book, right? But hey, when you got a convincing looking truck and you've got young kids, you think it's the ice cream man. Something we'd see all the time. The ice cream trucks rolling through the apartment complex. No reason to question that. I mean, hundreds of times the kids run up to the ice cream truck. They get their ice cream and they're all wired up and hyper for the next 2 hours. You don't expect something like this to happen. But predators will go where the kids are. And that's just the bottom line. And we have to be educated and aware on the ways to keep them safe. So that's what we're aiming to do with this little organization we got here. And we need your help to do that by sharing our content, by following us on social media, by making donations to the work that we do. It's all not for profit. Nobody here works and takes a salary from this job. We work volunteer. Yes, we're all volunteers here. And a couple of us have our own full-time jobs that we still do in addition to this. So no one's making money here. We ask for donations because we want to get the content that we produce out there to more people. And you certainly can help us to do that by making a donation on our website today. So thank you in advance for that. Speaking of our website, I'm going to bring that right to you here in just a second. There we go. Let me pull that up. Bada bing. There we go. Right there, protectyourchildren.org. Protectyourchildren.org is the website. Click on the menu. Bada boom. Tons of stuff, okay? In-depth protection packet. Man, we're tired of hearing this guy talk about this protection packet. What's the big deal? Well, click on it and find out. Download it. Man, I'm telling you, just read it off the screen if you have to. This in-depth protection packet contains guidelines, detailed guidelines on how to protect your kids from kidnapping, from online predators, from the tricks and the traps and the threats that are set before them. Protect them from sextortion, which is a growing epidemic right now among our teenagers. It will teach you how to identify predators. There's a lot of great stuff in the in-depth protection packet, and it's yours for a cost of $0, of course, because who would charge money to people to protect their children? That's absolutely ridiculous. So, Zachary Bernhardt, you know about that story. All the updates and videos are there. Our live show podcasts are on the website. Everything else is there at protectyourchildren.org, including how you can make a donation to help us out and get the word out in this fight against these predators. So we ask you to visit our website and take advantage of all the great stuff that is there. Oh, man, let's see what we got here. Had to watching all that time. Always sharing that service support. No one has complained. Okay, it's Jay from Michigan. He says, I have a playlist for PYC Inc. on the World Child Protection Hub. YouTube will not let me come on here for some reason. Oh, yes. Well, it's always a battle. As some of you know, our Instagram got removed, suspended, out of here. And they claimed that we were exploiting children. Yes, violating the community guidelines. I like that. We're the company that's protecting kids. Our reels exposing predators and their traps and tricks and threats have accumulated almost 1 million views during our time on Instagram. But, you know, we're the ones that are exploiting children. Like, go figure that one. And we're sure that came about because somebody complained and made a stink about it. But you know what? It's not going to stop us. Oh, no, it's not going to stop us. We're still getting the word out there, and we're counting on you guys to spread the word. Our TikTok followers are going up through the roof, and we are going to make it out there and on other platforms as well. You're not going to shut us up. We're not going to, there you go, Marie T. Too many people turning a blind eye. We will not turn a blind eye to our children being tracked and kidnapped and abused by these monsters. That's it. We're not going to turn a blind eye to it. We will keep going, and we will not be stopped. And we expect you to have the same passion to protect as we do. Checking out the chats here. Okay, good. Okay. So let me jump into this story really quick. You know, over here, we're huge baseball people down here in the Tampa area of Florida. And Wander Franco, I don't know if you guys seen this story. This was like from a year ago. Wander Franco was a Major League Baseball player for the Tampa Bay Rays. He was a shortstop. And he was arrested for, well, he was found guilty now, so we can say it, not allegedly, but he was found guilty for having an inappropriate sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl back in the Dominican Republic. The story came out that the mother's girl was providing access to the child in exchange for money from Wander Franco. So he was a hush money, you know. The mom could buy all sorts of stuff. The child was getting whatever she wanted, and Wander Franco was abusing her for quite amount of time. Well, it got exposed. He got arrested last year after being accused of having a 4-month relationship with a girl who was 14 at the time and of transferring thousands of dollars to her mother to consent to the illegal relationship. Well, Wander Franco has been sentenced. Yes, he has been sentenced. Imagine that. Franco, now 24, faced charges of sexual and commercial exploitation against a minor and human trafficking as well, but was found not guilty of those. Now, do you know what kind of punishment Wander Franco got? How many years do you think? Now, let's see. Prosecutors had requested a 5-year prison sentence for Wander Franco and a 10-year sentence against the girl's mother, who was found guilty and will serve the full term. So how many years do you think he got? 5? 10? 15? I mean, I'm thinking at least 20 years, right? Well, no. You know what he got? How about a 2-year suspended sentence? Yeah, he got a 2-year suspended sentence. And you know what he was told? He was told, as conditions of his sentence, he was not to pursue children for sexual purposes. And as long as he did that, suspended sentence, no jail time. No jail time. Unbelievable. 2-year suspended sentence for this guy. This is the injustices that we're talking about. This is unbelievable. Can you imagine that? Now, some are saying, well, why? Because he's a rich millionaire baseball player? Is it because maybe something else going on in law enforcement of the court system? How in the world does this guy not get any jail time after bribing the mother? And the crazy thing is the mom got 10 years. Wander Franco? No jail time. I mean, just what kind of message does that send? Major League Baseball player, $138 million contract. Fame, fortune, talent. You know, only 1% of all little leaguers make it to the major leagues. 1% of all little league kids make it to the MLB. This guy was one of them. And he has to go and have a relationship with a 14-year-old girl. This just tells you something's wrong psychologically here. This guy could have any woman he wanted, but he chose to go with a 14-year-old girl and then pay her mother to keep it quiet. But he gets no jail time. That is an injustice if I've ever seen an injustice. All right. You ready for this? This is going to blow your mind. Let's take you to Murfreesboro, Tennessee, baby. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This place looks amazing, okay? This is called Borough Beach. Yes, what are we doing? Advertisements now? Tourism? I mean, what's going on here, right? Borough Beach in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Beautiful place. Look at this. Great slides. Lots of fun for the whole family. It's fantastic, right? I mean, looks like love to take the kids there. There you go. Memorial Boulevard, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Actually, I know where that is because I have a friend who lives out that way. Yep. Open swim. Tot time. Look at this. $12. That's it for an adult. $12 for the whole day. What a great fun time at the water park for $12 a day, man. I'm telling you what, we might just turn into a promo for Borough Beach. Well, no, I don't think so. Do you want to know why? Because as you scroll down here, as we will, let's look at some of the general rules. In fact, let's skip the boring ones and get right to the good one. Here we go. Children aged 7 years and under must be accompanied by a parent or reasonable adult for the entire stay at the facility. 7 and under must be accompanied by a parent or reasonable adult. What does that mean? That means children from 8 years old all the way through their puberty years up to 17 years old can be there without a parent or an adult at a water park. What in the world is going on? It says right here, children aged 7 years and under must be accompanied by a parent or reasonable adult. So, by deduction, 8 years old and older. Just drop the kiddos off. They could be out here all day with the predators and the people and the strangers, and they could be in the pools and in the locker rooms and in the bathrooms. No problem, no adult needed. Just come on out to Vero Beach in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Are you kidding me? Children aged 7 years and under must be accompanied by a parent or reasonable adult for the entire stay at the facility. 8 years old, no problem. 7, well, have to have an adult. I mean, is this inviting predators? Anybody out there taking their kids to a water park before? When they're standing in lines for the slides and there's all these strangers talking to the kids. Maybe they're in the lazy river. Maybe they're in the big pool with tons of people. I'm sure the lifeguards are monitoring every bit of interaction to make sure nobody's trying to touch these kids or talk to them or groom them or bring them home, for crying out loud. But yeah, 8 years old. Jay from Michigan, all the way to 17, but at the very least 12. This facility needs to be contacted by many people complaining about this. I don't know how they haven't been. We stumbled across this just a couple days ago. Can you really just drop an 8-year-old off there with no supervision and trust that they're going to be okay? Let me give you a hint, parents. Here's one way to prevent child kidnapping. Don't leave your 8-year-old alone at a water park. There you go. We could end the show right there. I mean, give me a break. This is true. This isn't made up. We might have to call him one week live on the show and be like, hey, can I just drop my 8-year-old off for the day? You guys will babysit. Unbelievable. But hey, listen, you can drop them off at Vero Beach where the public has access to your kids with no adults, no supervision, no one watching them. Sure. Yeah, that's a great idea. But hey, listen, if you don't want to do that, parents, you know what you can do? Yes, here we go. You can just sign your kids up for the summer pass at Planet Fitness. Yes, the high school summer pass. Teens ages 14 to 19 can work out totally free. Woo! Free is for me. Oh, yeah. No parent or guardian needed to be with the kids. No. So now your 14-year-old, hey, you can bring your 8-year-old to Vero Beach and have them just hang out all day and don't worry about who they're with. And then for the older kiddos, you can bring them to Planet Fitness and have them just sign up. And 14 years old, they can hang out in the locker room, hang out in the showers, work out with all the equipment, spend time in the sauna with the other men with the towels wrapped around their waist. Yep, being around your 14 and 15-year-old kid. No problems, don't worry. Yep, no parent or guardian needed. How about that? Hey, they don't like Vero Beach? They can go to Planet Fitness. Are you kidding me right now? This is what we're dealing with, people. All these people are stepping up as an option to here, parents, we'll babysit your kids for you. And the predators are like, wait a minute, hold on. A 14-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl will be alone at Planet Fitness without a parent watching them? What a perfect opportunity to groom them and talk with them. Sure. But you know what? You don't really have the kid that's the workout type. Maybe your kid's not the Burrow Beach type. Maybe they just want to, go travel around to other places, without their parents' permission. Maybe they want to just go somewhere where they're not supposed to. Well, you say, my kid doesn't drive. I don't have to worry about that. You might have to, because of course we have Uber rides for teens. Oh yes. Oh yes. See, now listen, last year we showed you a video where we live went to the Uber site and we set up an account, a fake account, by the way, to set up a ride for a teenager. And let me tell you how easy it was. They did not verify that I was a parent or guardian of the child that I put in there. Nope, they didn't do nothing. Oh, they said it was all set up. Your teen can now ride with Uber. How do you like that? Wait, I got it. Okay, guys, putting it together. I'm putting it together for you. Here we go. You ready? Honey, what should we do with the kids for the summer? I mean, they're going to have a lot of time on their hands. Well, I think what we can do is we can order an Uber for our teen. Yep. At 13 years old. And then we can have the Uber take them to Burrow Beach where we don't have to watch them and they can be at the water park all day. And then if it's raining, we could just have them go to Planet Fitness where they're not supervised all day either, but I'm sure it's absolutely safe. There's a great idea. Well, honey, that sounds like a fantastic idea. That's a great way to make sure our kids stay busy. I mean, they're setting us up, people. You don't see it? They're setting up the parents. This Uber rides for teens, and this screenshot here was a notification to the driver saying, hey, you've been such a great driver. You've been approved for teen account holders. Now you might go, well, it's not that dangerous. I mean, they know who the driver is. The driver's been background checked. I mean, they're on GPS. They know where they're at all times, right? Well, here's the problem. With parents' permission, we used a child's name to set up a teen account with the parents' permission. And let me tell you, they didn't have to know me from anybody. They didn't have to know Protect Your Children from anybody. See? So here's the deal. Here's Mr. or Mrs. Predator. She's got an account. She sets up a teen account for this child who she says is hers. Uber approves it. And then she sends a car to go get the kid and bring them wherever the heck he or she wants them to go. And the parents have no idea. It's exactly how it happens. Unbelievable. This is what's happening. Jay from Michigan. Did you get an auto donation from me in June? No, we did not. But thank you for trying. Jay from Michigan makes a great point. He's just seeing all the naked adults in the locker rooms and multi-showers. We did a show last year, a year and a half ago, about Adventure Island down here in Florida, where the adult men, of course, we would only know because it was a boy that reported this. The adult men were showering and changing in front of the young adult boys in the bathroom. The bathroom and the showers are connected. It's all one space. Now, there's a little wall there where you turn the corner a little bit where the showers are. But there's nothing to make sure that these pervs actually get dressed before they walk out into the open in front of all the kids. But that is exactly what happened. 12-year-old boy went in to use the bathroom, and the first thing he saw was two grown naked men. And Adventure Island was called about it. We called them live. We recorded the whole call for you. And they were pretty outraged. They seemed to not be aware that this could happen. And then they transferred us over to someone at SeaWorld who owns them. And we talked to the people at SeaWorld, and they took a report. And a couple days later, we got a call from someone who took another report. And they said that they would address the situation. How much you want to bet that they didn't do a darn thing? They didn't do nothing. But that's okay, right? Your kids can go to Burrow Beach in Murfreesboro. As long as they're 8 years old, they don't need a parent or guardian the whole day with them. Your 14-year-olds can go to Planet Fitness without a parent or guardian and hang out there with strange adults. No problem. Work out, go to the showers, go to the locker rooms. No big deal. Summer pass free for your kids. Hey! Kids can take an Uber for free now. Well, paid for by the predator. To anywhere that they want to go. And Uber doesn't make sure that the parents are aware. Sure. See what's happening? Now, I want to show you something that we showed last week, but we only had 5 live watchers last week, and not too many people on the podcast, which we're very upset about. But hopefully it'll gain some traction at some point. But we wanted to share this with you again. This is the kind of people that we are dealing with. This is the kind of people that we're dealing with. Everybody except Jay is quiet in the chat on where everybody went. Everybody's still out there in the chat? Hello, everybody? Hello? Is anybody else out there? Yeah, that would be nice. That'd be good. Rising says he's there. Okay, cool. Marie T is still out there. So we shared the story last week. We're going to share it again. This is unbelievable. This is the kind of people that we're dealing with. Marie T says still there. Good. Glad to have you here. All right, let's check this out. This happened at the Jersey Shore. Doesn't hurt to show it again for those who didn't see it. This is absolutely crazy. But this is what we're dealing with out there, people. It's time to wake up.
Now to a troubling discovery at the Jersey Shore. Police in Ocean City are investigating after several cameras were found inside public restrooms on the boardwalk. NBC 10's Siobhan McGurl's live in Ocean City. And Siobhan, you spoke with a woman who found one of these cameras.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a fun day down the shore for this woman. Instead, she made this disturbing discovery right here at the public restrooms at 6th Street. She says she found a hidden camera in the family restroom.
You hear stuff like this all the time happening. You just never really think that you're going to encounter it.
Fallon Conway was down the shore Thursday, soaking in the warm weather in Ocean City with her friend and friend's child when they stopped to use the family restroom at 6th Street. Inside, Conway says she saw this sticking out behind a trash can.
Immediately, it was weird. It was off.
She picked it up and realized what looked like a pen was actually a camera. Describe how you felt when you realized this was a camera.
My heart dropped. It was striking.
That discovery prompted Ocean City police to search all public restrooms on the boardwalk. They found several additional cameras at both 10th Street and 11th.
I would have never imagined somewhere like, especially Ocean City.
This is supposed to be a family resort. This is supposed to be like a nice place to come and like enjoy time. And it just feels like it's been like disrespected and it's gross.
We saw police in the area Friday. The department says officers will remain near the restrooms to conduct additional checks. Ocean City's mayor assuring the public that detectives will use every available resource to find the person who placed the cameras.
I can't even fathom it. Like, I can't understand it. You know what I mean? I don't even know what to say to people like that because who does that?
As Conway awaits answers, she just hopes this serves as a reminder.
Be careful. Know your surroundings. You know what I mean? You seriously never know when you're going to come across something like this.
Of course, if anyone knows anything Ocean City police want to hear from you, we have that information at our NBC 10 app. In Ocean City, I'm Siobhan McGurl, NBC 10 News.
So, are we seeing the problem yet? So we got, take your kids to Burrow Beach. As long as they're 8 years old, they can be by themselves. You can get teenagers on Uber without their parents knowing. Your teenagers can hang out at Planet Fitness and work out, hang out in the showers and the saunas with complete strangers. Doesn't have to be a parent or guardian there either. And now we got predators putting pen cameras in the family restrooms at public beaches. Wow. Jay from Michigan in the chat said, this is a war we can never win, but many folks are involved in the battles and are making a difference. Never lose hope. You know what? We're going to fight until the end. The people that are quiet, the people that see the posts and they don't tune in or they don't share or they don't bother to care, you know what? They're just as guilty. And I know that sounds harsh, but across all social media platforms, we've got like 20,000 followers. And I'm like, we're averaging 100 people watching a video. Out of 20,000, we average about 12 to 15 shares. Out of 20,000. Oh, there's a lot of apathy out there. There's a lot of people that just don't care. They don't think it's a problem. But you know what? We're going to still fight. We're not going to give up. What the heck? Jesus had 12 people and it changed the whole world. If we had 12 committed, passionate protectors that were sharing every content multiple times and they were making a $5 or $10 donation a month and they were doing everything they could to warn and educate others, we'd be making a huge difference. So we're going to keep battling. We're going to keep fighting. Unbelievable. So, Florida, good news here. Good news. Good news. Now, if you guys saw this, the United States Marshal Service partnered with multiple federal, state, and local government agencies to conduct the most successful missing child recovery operation in U.S. Marshal Service history. Operation Dragon Eye was a 2-week initiative designed to recover or safely locate the most critically missing youth across Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties. For those of you who don't know, that is in Central Florida, Central West Florida, that would be. And let's see what we got. Says here, 60 critically missing children were recovered or safely located in part of the operation. The unique part of the operation was the fact that underaged critically missing children ranging from ages 9. I wonder if that 9-year-old ever was at Burrow Beach unsupervised in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I'm just saying, because parents ain't got to be there. Were not only recovered, but were debriefed and provided with physical and psychological care. This operation further included follow-up assistance in hopes that these youth will not return back to the streets to be further victimized. William Berger, United States Marshal, Middle District of Florida, said. According to the U.S. Marshal Service, critically missing children are those who are at risk of crimes of violence or those with other elevated risk factors like substance abuse, sexual exploitation, crime exposure, or domestic violence. Says Operation Dragon Eye was a community initiative. Whole lot of people involved. Berger said that those arrested are facing charges of human trafficking, child endangerment, and drug possession. They know these children were underage. If you look at the average age of the offender, well into their 30s and 40s, and the age of the children were from 9 to 17. I wonder if any of those predators just ordered an Uber for a kid who wanted to run away. Yeah. And then the kid was able to hop in the car and just go. Parent didn't have to know about it. Thanks, Uber. Appreciate it. It's unbelievable. But that's good news, right? I mean, we're seeing things like this all over the country. Some people would say it has something to do with the new administration. Who knows? We're not going to take sides in politics here, but we sure as heck have seen an uptick in the amount of kids being rescued recently. Marie T said, praise the Lord, but there are still many more that need to be rescued, found, and saved. Absolutely. There's just there's millions of kids that are missing out there. But here's the question we have. There were 60 kids in these counties, Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco, that's 3 counties, that were missing. I'll tell you what, we have our ear tuned pretty darn good to the missing children announcements in these areas. We want to know, why were there no Amber Alerts for these kids? Why were there no missing alerts, missing person alerts for these kids? I mean, 60 of them missing in this area? But nobody knew anything about it until they got rescued. Well, a lot of times they're runaways, but still, if they're a runaway, they're endangered. Why was there no Amber Alerts issued on these children? Fair question to ask. Maybe someone knows the answer. If you know the answer, please put it in the comments. Why were there no Amber Alerts for these kids? That's our question. Though we're happy they've been rescued. But we have to wonder, if the majority of them are runaways, well, that's a whole nother issue. But shouldn't they still have Amber Alerts? I think so. We want to remind you that you can help us out by making a donation as we get this information out there and we educate, raise awareness to protect kids from predators and kidnappers across the whole country. Yes, we're nationwide. We have volunteers and connections in all areas of the country. We do a lot of work. We reach a lot of people. We want to reach more. This battle is one that we're losing right now. And we want to get more people involved. We need more people to sign up to volunteer. We need more people to donate. We need people that be willing to volunteer in their local communities, to teach protection to groups of people in their own neighborhoods, in their own churches. There's a lot of things that we'd like to do, but we cannot do it because we are strapped and held back. We have a total of $50 a month in donations right now, 50. I'm going to tell you that the monthly expenses to run an organization are a lot more than that. And that currently is coming out of the pockets of the directors. So if you want to help us continue to get the word out and you want to make a difference, please consider making a donation at protectyourchildren.org today. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now, here's some more good news. The National Center on Sexual Exploitation posted this on Facebook. The Supreme Court has ruled that it's constitutional to require porn sites to verify users are 18 plus. This is a huge victory for child safety online. And of course, I tell you can link below for more information. Now, this was in reference to the Texas law, which was an age verification law, and it was being challenged by not only the porn companies, but other companies as well. And there's a few states that are enacting laws like this. Florida has one. But unfortunately, we continue to get reports about websites that are still able to be accessed. And they're somehow bypassing the Florida law. We do know and have confirmed that the Attorney General's office of Florida has been made aware of the different websites, but nothing's getting done. And what we've been told is it's because the websites are located and run offshore. So they therefore cannot force them to put age verification in place. Isn't that something? Absolutely ridiculous. Now, of course, they could, but they'd have to spend money to go over there and have those people personally served and then prosecute them and everything else. But it's great to see that states are passing laws like this. There is absolutely no reason why kids under 18, honestly, adults even too, but that's their business. Kids under 18 should be able to access this filth. Predators use this stuff to hypersexualize and desensitize kids. When you have kids that have been looking at pornography for months and months and years, at the height of their hormones, and they are just ready to bust out and to go do this in real life, and then some predator comes across their path and grooms them and manipulates them into giving them what they want, taking advantage of them. Porn plays a huge part in that. And there's no reason why kids should be able to access this in the United States of America. It's absolutely ridiculous. But at least that's good news. I mean, we got people that are trying to fight. Protect the kids. It's unbelievable. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's not in it for them. Ask God. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being in the chat. He said age verification law, Florida. Yeah. Florida has one. And many sites have, gone with the law. And they are unable to be accessed from Florida without uploading an ID. But there are several sites that still are not participating. And they're located offshore, and Florida doesn't seem to have the ability to go and make these people obey the law. I'm sure Texas is going to have the same problem. That's like a loophole because it's the World Wide Web. You know what I would do? Here's a suggestion. We would say, go after the web hosting companies. Go after the companies that are hosting the sites. Go after the internet providers. Come on, where is their responsibility too? I mean, my God, can we get people to work together? I mean, is there anyone out there who wants kids abused? Wants kids to be kidnapped? Like Jet right here on the screen, this beautiful young boy. Marie T makes a great point in the chat, especially now that they can take regular photos and remove the clothing of children. Yep, we talked about that last week. There's apps like Nudify where they can upload pictures of regular children off social media and remove their clothes and keep their face and then post those pictures to their PDF file friends and use them as sextortion material for teenagers. It's unbelievable, but this is what's happening. But you see, here's the key. Education and awareness. If your kids are aware, and if you are aware of what can happen, then you take the steps to prevent it. And we're going to be talking about that in just a minute here. How to protect your kids from kidnapping. There are some basic things that you can do. Okay? Now we're talking about situations where kids are grabbed off the streets, or in Jet's case, grabbed out of an apartment complex, for crying out loud. It takes some real psycho to do that in front of witnesses. But even kids that are runaways, kids that are on social media talking to adults, kids that are on social media talking to people that they think are their age when they're really adults. We have to protect our kids from this. But there's so many that just are snoozing out there. Right now, we've got 3 people watching this show. 3 out of 20,000. It's making us wonder why people are following us in the first place. Dorothy R. Cook, welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining the show. Dorothy says there should have been missing persons alerts for the children. Absolutely. I mean, they're rescuing. We hear about this. There's 60 kids in Tampa Bay, 120 rescued 2 weeks ago. They're rescuing these kids all over the place now. The FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, they're out there. They're rescuing these kids. And it's like, well, where the heck were all the Amber Alerts? Who knew? Who knew that all these kids were missing? The public didn't know. It's unheard of. Wow. Well, I'll tell you. There's a few more people joining right now. If you missed any of the show, you can watch the podcast. It'll be available after the show is over. And we ask that you would go back and listen from the beginning. A lot of great information, awareness, warnings, education. Protect your kids. Information can be found also on protectyourchildren.org, protectyourchildren.org. Great resources, education, and awareness. All right, in the last 15 or 20 minutes of the show here, we're going to talk to you about Jet. This case, this story, has really done a number on me personally. We hear about cases all the time. We research all the time. We have our ear to a lot of different areas. And we knew about Jet. I mean, we knew that Jet went missing from the same complex as Zachary Bernhardt, name ring a bell, whose case we've been looking into. We knew that Jet was missing. We knew that Jet was found. And we didn't really think anything more of it after that. Well, he was found, happy ending, good story, right? Terrible that he was kidnapped, but hey, he was found. He's back home with his family. You know, and I'm going to be honest, Marie T, our co-director, can tell you that our mission and our goal is to raise awareness on how to prevent kids from being kidnapped and prevent kids from being groomed and manipulated online, and how to protect kids from these predators that are in the community and online. That's our mission. Now, Marie T can tell you that when we started, she knew about Zachary Bernhardt. And because of people close to us that had some personal interaction with the mother of that child back when this happened in 2000, we decided as an organization that we were going to investigate the case of Zachary Bernhardt and locate him and bring the people to justice that were responsible for what they did to his life. And we are still working on that. Well, wouldn't you know that 15 months later on New Year's Eve, 2001, Jet was kidnapped from the same complex. He was found about 10 hours later in Bushnell. Let me pull up this map to show you just what we're talking about here. And tonight's just an intro to his case because we're going to be dealing a lot with this. We're going to be starting a promotional campaign that's going to blanket the areas from Clearwater, you see on your map, all the way up to Bushnell, seeking information about the person who did this to Jet, because they still have not been caught. They have still not been caught. Wouldn't you know that Jet was kidnapped? He was physically assaulted. He was sexually assaulted. He was thrown in a dumpster in Bushnell, Florida, and he was told to die. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Look at the precious boy on the screen. Look at him. Outside playing with his friends. And he gets grabbed and assaulted and thrown in a dumpster and told to die. Who the hell does that? What kind of monster? What kind of evil mind does that to a beautiful child? Well, you know, Jet was found. He was reunited with his family. And the family was told in so many words by the law enforcement that, well, the child's found and that was our priority. We're pretty much taking a hands-off approach at this point. And now it's been, 24 years? And the person who did this has never been caught, never been identified. So he was able to go on and grab other kids and do the same thing because law enforcement stopped looking for him, just like they stopped actively investigating Zachary Bernhardt's case, except for following a tip if it comes in. We've been talking with the mother of Jet. She gave us permission share his photos, and get his story out there. Jet unfortunately passed away this past December 2024. His mother said he never really recovered from what happened to him. And this poor child is no longer with us because of a monster who's still out there as far as we know. And we want him caught. We want justice for Jet. Here's one of the news articles. Kidnapped boy, 5, left in restaurant trash bin. 5-year-old Clearwater boy was abducted New Year's Eve, crawled free of the trash bin he was dumped in, and flagged down a motorist for help. The boy was left behind a restaurant and a dumpster 65 miles northeast in Sumter County, about 4 a.m. on Tuesday. I mean, here's the problem. These cases get old and people stop looking into them. And then justice is never served. Not for Jet, not for his family, not for his loved ones, siblings. We have gathered enough information and still going through more where we want to get the word out through social media, similar as we did with Zachary. And we are sure that there are people in St. Petersburg and Clearwater, Florida, and Bushnell, Florida, and areas in between that know something, possibly know the person who did this, maybe identify the vehicle he was driving, might have some more information. And that's what we're going to be praying for. We think people can help. Let me share this Tampa Bay Times article with you. Unfortunately, the restaurant did not have cameras. No. The police checked all those different areas, and there was no cameras anywhere. Now, the police did, because Jet said that they stopped at it. The man stopped at a gas station to get a drink and get some gas. So they did get access to video cameras from the different gas stations and plazas along the way. Nothing of value. So here was the article published on January 8th, which was after Jet was found, by the Tampa Bay Times. A 5-year-old boy abducted on New Year's Eve has told investigators that the man who took him stopped to get gas, though the boy didn't recall his abductor going inside to pay for it. Police said it's possible that the abductor drove off without paying, though they said it's also possible the man used a credit card to pay for the gas at the pump. That new detail is part of another layer of facts that the boy has provided investigators. Detectives have been patient, questioning the boy because of his young age and the trauma associated with his abduction. Now look at this. The boy and his mother on Friday participated in the taping of an America's Most Wanted segment that will air at 9 p.m. on Saturday. That would have been January 12th on Fox. The segment will be pulled if the police capture the man before Saturday, said Clearwater Police Sergeant Doug Griffith. Let me ask you guys a question. If anybody knows how we can view and watch old episodes of America's Most Wanted, we would like to see the interview. We want to see what John Walsh had to say about it. We've been to YouTube, we've been everywhere, and cannot gain access to an episode that old. It would have been January 12th of 2002. Well, let's move on. All right. The boy was taken about 6 p.m. We know actually that was about 5 or 5:30, December 31st, near a playground in his apartment complex, Savannah Trace, which was at 2690 Drew Street. Yes, the same place as Zachary Bernhardt. The kidnapper placed the boy in a trash bin. Placed the boy. Like he put him there nicely. Oh, my God. Put the boy in a trash bin near Bushnell about 10 hours later. The boy suffered no major physical injuries, but the police have said he might have been assaulted. Yeah, he was. Among new details to arise from the boy's latest interviews with detectives. The white pickup used by the abductor is smaller than a midsize, but larger than a compact. It has no topper, but does have an extended cab. As previously reported, the truck had decals or stickers in either the rear window or on the quarter panel that spelled Stone Cold Steve Austin. We have found out from later reports that that was on the rear quarter panel. It was a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestler. The truck also might have had decals of ice cream cones. It did. It had ice cream decals along it. This was a converted pickup truck to make it look like it was an ice cream truck. We believe for the purposes of getting access to these kids. The truck has a gray interior along with fold-down jumper seats in the rear. There's also a rear sliding glass window. The windows are lightly tinted. There was a silver metallic-like container in the rear of the truck near the window. The box could have been a toolbox, a freezer, or another kind of container. There were also dirty clothes both inside the cab and in the bed of the truck. The abductor was described as a short man between 5'6" and 5'9". The boy said the front seats in the truck had been pushed all the way forward to the position closest to the dashboard. The man is thought to be white or Hispanic. He has a thin build, dark hair, and dark eyebrows. He was clean-shaven and had no marks, tattoos, earrings, or rings. Like the pickup, he was dirty. The man wore a black and white jacket, dark jeans, and brown shoes. We're going to be bringing you a lot of information in the weeks to come, because since this report came out, there's been a lot more details that just never got released to the public, which is really frustrating because it could help locate this freaking monster, including the fact that this man had what they call pockmarks all over his face, like someone who had bad acne when they were younger, right? And then there's scars and little holes. You guys know what I'm talking about. The radio in the truck was playing music. Interesting. It was said that the music was not English. That's why they believe he was Mexican or Hispanic. Though one witness reported seeing the pickup go east on Drew Street, this is in Clearwater, after the abduction, the boy told investigators his kidnapper might have driven north on US 19. We're not hanging our hat on any one direction. Griffith said the key thing is he remembers stopping to get gas at least one time. Somebody had to see that truck get gas. These are the kind of people that we're going to target when we do our social media campaign, which you can help donate toward. If you want to help us find the person that did this to Jet, you need to reach out and make a donation. You can put on the note for Jet, justice for Jet. But we are going to plaster this all over social media. We're talking Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, from St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, all the way the hell up to Bushnell. Somebody has seen this truck. We're going to show you a picture of it in a minute with all the decals added. Somebody saw that truck, and we want to know who. Police also hope that the America's Most Wanted segment will help. Man, if we could find that, we'd pay to promote that. Get the word out even more. but we can't find it nowhere. There are very old episodes out there on playlists on YouTube, but not that one. Host John Walsh was in Clearwater to interview the boy and his mother on Friday. Of course, Walsh's 6-year-old son, Adam, was abducted and murdered in 1981. The prime suspect was never charged, but later died in prison while serving time for other crimes. He has a passion for child abductions. Obviously, he's very concerned in light of what happened to his son, Griffith said. He just thinks this guy needs to be taken off the streets. Hang straight. And of course, anybody has any information, they can call the Clearwater Police Department, major cases, 562-4422. Now, I want to tell you that there is a lot of information See, Dorothy asked a question. This is horrible. How did he gain access to Jet? Was he at home or other area? Jet, all right, so here's what happened. Jet and a couple other kids were outside at the playground in the Savannah Trace apartment complex. And it was reportedly around between 5 and 5:30 in the afternoon. Ice cream truck, quote unquote, converted pickup truck to look like an ice cream truck, rolls in there. And the guy gets out of the truck, which is really weird because ice cream men don't usually do that. They stay in the truck and play the stupid music and ring the bell, right? And the kids come to the truck. Well, this guy got out of the truck and he started talking to the kids, asking who wants ice cream. Now, the playground was just a really short distance from the apartment building where Jet lived. And then Jet ran home reportedly to get some money, came back, gave the guy the money. This guy reportedly told Jet to hop in the bed of the truck, which is the back end of the pickup, because there was a freezer there where the ice cream was, and he could pick out what he wanted. So Jet, being 5, hops up in the back of the pickup, opens up this silver box, which we believe was probably a freezer, or at least a refrigerated thing, or just a toolbox with ice cream in it. Grabs a piece of ice cream. And then the abductor reached through the back window and grabbed Jet and pulled him into the cab. The witnesses said they heard Jet scream. The guy told him to shut up, hit him, and took off with him. Proceeded to physically assault him, sexually assault him, and left him in a dumpster in Bushnell, Florida. Jet reported to the detectives and to his mother. The last thing the guy said to him when he threw him in the dumpster was, "Die, die, die." That is evil. Now, we have access to a trove of information. There are a lot of things that we cannot release. There are things that we cannot release by request of the family. But there are things that we can. And when we feel that doing so wouldn't jeopardize the investigation and locating this maniac, we are going to do so. I will tell you that in a week or two, probably a couple weeks, we're going to be doing a special live show about this case. We'll bring you lots of new information. Dorothy asked, so this was someone the community knew of? He was selling ice cream. None of the other children didn't know him. Actually, one of the other children reportedly had told Jet not to go near the guy. One of the other children, who was only 7 years old, said to Jet, "That's not the ice cream man. That's not the usual one that comes here. Don't go near him." And Jet didn't listen because the guy had ice cream, right? There are lots of reports of the truck. People that saw the truck, connections to an ice cream shop in Bushnell, potential connections. What we're going to show you right now is an old picture provided to us by the family. The police released a picture of a truck that they're looking for. They've been able to pretty much identify what kind of truck it was based upon the witnesses pointing out different vehicles that matched what it looked like. And they released a picture way back in 2002 of the truck that they're looking for. Now, interesting enough, they didn't put any of the decals on the truck, the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the ice cream symbols. They didn't put nothing on the truck. They just released a picture of a white truck and said, "We're looking for a truck that looks like this." I mean, really? I bet you they got tons of tips on that, right? But what we did is we took the picture, we added the ice cream decals, we added the Stone Cold Steve Austin sticker based upon multiple eyewitness reports of where the stickers were. And this is the picture that we want to get out there because somebody has seen this truck. I mean, it's not hard, right, to miss a truck. But here's the picture. So the reports are that it's a 1990s to 2000 white Chevy S10 or a GMC Sonoma. They were very, very similar at the time. In fact, the Sonoma took over the S10 after it stopped. Possible blue waves, like a decal of blue waves on the truck. The back window slides open or was possibly removed. There was a silver toolbox or a silver freezer for ice cream in the back. This is the positioning of the ice cream symbols along the side of the truck. Different types of ice cream. You see there's a Stone Cold Steve Austin sticker right there in the rear quarter panel right behind the back light. It's interesting, when we went to pull a picture of that kind of a decal for a truck, the picture we found was exactly that. It was that one on the rear quarter panel of a white pickup truck because that's where you put it back then, right? Now, Lickety Splits ice cream. Notice how we put possible logo on either door. There was a report from a witness that around 3:30 that same day, she saw a Lickety Splits ice cream truck in the apartment complex when she was going to bring trash to the dumpster. Now, outside of the chance of there being two different ice cream companies on the same day there, a couple hours apart, is there a possibility that the pickup truck said Lickety Splits on it as well? That's why we included two pictures. That Lickety Splits may not have been on the truck, but according to one witness, they saw one that did. And we want people in Clearwater and St. Pete and Bushnell and that whole area to think back. This truck could have been brought to a junkyard because it is an old vehicle, but certainly someone would remember a white pickup truck being brought in with ice cream decals on it, or a Stone Cold Steve Austin and potentially the back window missing. And you know what's interesting about this picture that the police put out? Look at the back window. Doesn't it look like it's already gone? Like there's some kind of curtains there? Like someone could reach right through that back window and just grab somebody if they were like a kid who was in there trying to get ice cream out of a freezer? Kind of creepy, right? We don't know where the hell they got this picture from, but, and people might be wondering, why didn't we just grab a better picture? Well, we want to bring you right back to that day. And this is the picture the police released, but of course it didn't have any of the decals on it. It was just a white truck with these words that they put on there. That's all it was. But maybe someone in a junkyard saw this. Yeah, Jay from Michigan makes a great point that either can be removed. It's a good possibility. I mean, it is. But somebody would have seen, if this truck was driving around, and there are eyewitness reports that this truck was seen in Clearwater. It was seen on Drew Street. It was seen in multiple apartment complexes. Other people may have seen this truck at that time and therefore may have gotten a better glimpse of the driver, may be able to give us more information. But this truck ends up going to a junkyard, or maybe it was bought and refurbished into a, an antique or whatever because it's so old and the decals were removed. I mean, maybe someone remembers removing decals off of a truck they bought. Ice cream decals. I mean, there are endless possibilities of people that may recognize a truck like this. Now, this isn't the only lead they have. I mean, we have a couple of the things that we're looking into to make connections on. But this is what they got. Clearwater, Bushnell, Florida, St. Petersburg, Lickety Splits ice cream. Interesting enough, we did find out that there was a Lickety Splits ice cream in Bushnell. 1 minute walking distance from where Jet was thrown in the dumpster. Now, what is the chance of that? A witness from the complex says at 3:30 that afternoon, she sees a white ice cream truck with Lickety Splits on it. And it turns out that there was a Lickety Splits ice cream shop. It's closed now, but it was open then in Bushnell, 1 minute away from the dumpster that Jet was thrown into. We're assuming that the police looked into that, that they did their due diligence. Jay Michigan said Bushnell. Yes. Taken out of Clearwater and found in Bushnell, Jay. Yeah, he says the kids will remember. Yeah, the man, they believe, was in his 30s, maybe early 40s. So he's probably in his 60s now. But we're going to do everything we can because we want justice for Jet. Especially now with Jet no longer being with us. There is one more thing that his family can do. There is one more thing that we can do for Jet. And that is to find the monster that did this, that destroyed his life, and bring him to justice one way or another. And that's what we're committed to doing. Now, in the last few minutes we have, I'm going to go over this with you. Here's some vital tips on preventing child kidnapping. Number one, parents, you have got to be aware. I mean, just, you know what, common sense, be looking out. But at the same time, times have changed. Do you remember we brought you this story about a month or two ago of the people driving down the road and the guy tried to grab a young boy right out of the front yard? And then in the same town, a few blocks over, they tried to grab a girl. I mean, this is a network of people. Times are not the same anymore. You can't let your kids walk to the ice cream truck. I remember growing up and we'd run down the street. Hell, forget that. We'd run blocks over to find the ice cream truck. And we never had any problems. Every kid in the neighborhood knew the ice cream man. His name was Charlie, actually. Nice guy. Never hurt anybody. But you see, we can't do that anymore. Parents, you got to be aware now. We can stop kidnapping. Here's the problem. the majority of cases of children that are kidnapped, the child is kidnapped by somebody that is known to the family. It's by a friend or a relative or somebody that's known. Maybe it's from school or from after school program. Hell, somebody that would have interactions with the kids. So what I'm saying is the majority of abductions are not stranger abductions. But there is about 10% that are. Is Jet's case a stranger abduction? Was it fueled by some connection to somebody in the family? What's the same question we asked about Zachary Bernhardt? It has to be looked at. All different studies. There was one here that said less than 25% of kids are kidnapped by complete strangers. But here's a couple of basic things. Yeah, Jay said a lot in a divorce fight. Yes, that's absolutely true. Children of parents who use drugs, hold parties where drugs and alcohol are consumed are more likely to be kidnapped than children whose parents don't. Duh. If you're a parent and you're having parties at your house where where there's drug users and alcohol drinkers, and your kids are around that, those kids are more likely to be kidnapped than children whose parents aren't doing those types of things. These are the stats, people. Kidnapped children are very rarely taken in the presence of their parents or other trusted family members. So watch your children. Young children should never be running around the neighborhood by themselves. If they're walking to a friend's house, walk them. If it's close by, watch them. If going to the bus stop, have somebody keeping an eye on them. I mean, my God, there was a video a year or 2 years ago of a girl standing at the bus stop, and this guy pulls up right at an intersection where she's waiting on the corner for the bus, and he comes out and tries to grab her right from the bus stop because she was standing there by herself. Now, he managed to grab her backpack, and she turned and spun, and she was able to get away, thank God. And there were cameras on doors around that were filming. But if people are willing to just go right up to a bus stop and grab a kid, I mean, they're getting brazen. I mean, Jet was taken at 5 or 5:30 in the afternoon in daylight on New Year's Eve in the presence of witnesses. Like, these people aren't even concerned about getting caught. A few recently highlighted cases have shown that parental or other family member drug use and drug debt may have been a huge factor in children being taken. For kids, you should always have them stay in groups of at least 2 or more people, if at all possible. Kidnappers are less likely to try and abduct you if there are witnesses around. This is for the kids you see on the screen. Kids, always try to change your specific ways that you walk to and from the bus stop or to and from your friends' houses. It's a good idea to have 1 or more ways to get to where you're going. Child kidnappers usually will stalk first, and they'll wait for a time and a location where it's easiest to abduct you if you take the same path around the same time every day. I mean, it becomes predictable. See, then a kidnapper will know exactly where and when to take you. If you think about previous cases where children have been abducted, you'll remember that they almost always were by themselves and usually walking to school or to a friend's house by themselves. And kids should always avoid walking or biking in dark areas, wooded paths, alleys, and back roads that hardly have any traffic. Kids should keep an eye out for suspicious vehicles that they see every day. For example, if you see the same white van, hell, pickup truck with ice cream symbols on it that doesn't look like it belongs there, you see that every day or every other day constantly, this could be someone who's looking for a specific type of child to kidnap. Just think about it. How often do you normally notice the same vehicle every day where you walk or play by yourself. Kids have to remember two things. If someone grabs them, they got to make sure they scream and hit their private parts at the same time. A kidnapper only has two arms, and he or she can't carry you, cover your mouth, and protect their private parts all at the same time. You got to scream. You got to go crazy. Cause a scene. And of course, number 5, kids should never, for any reason, go towards someone's car, van, or truck. Now, of course, the ice cream man. I mean, what kid doesn't go toward the ice cream man? Vis-a-vis jet. A lot of times the kidnapper will say, I have a cute puppy to see, or my animal is sick, can you help? Or I have free candy or ice cream or something. Never listen to them. If you don't know them, stay away from them. They will be trying to get you near a vehicle, so when you scream and kick for the private parts at the same time, which you should do, they have a better chance of taking you. Parents, it's very important to know which routes your kids walk or bike to their friend's house or to school. If someone were to take them, you would know what roads they were walking on or biking on. And this way you can tell the police exactly where to look for witnesses. And if the kid's going to school every day and you ask them, how do you get to school? And they tell you, I go down this road, I turn left, I go right, and here I am. Okay, that's where they go every single day. And if someone took them, you can say it had to be somewhere along that road or that road. And then they can get Ring cameras and they can do a lot of stuff. But if they say, well, do you know where your kids usually walk to their friend's house? Well, I don't even know where their friend lives. I just known that they had one. Do you know how they get to school every day? Well, I don't know. I mean, he usually go to someone else's house and then they walk. I don't know what roads they take. Parents, you got to know. Of course, this is where the GPS tracking comes in handy. Life 360, Guardian, Air Droid, all these parental controls you can get. You can know where your kids are at. This is a hard one for today. We're almost done here. Parents, get to know your neighbors. Especially people in your immediate neighborhood or subdivision. Now, this is important for 2 reasons. First, so you can know which people you feel comfortable and deem appropriate for your children to be near. Yeah, that's kind of important. And second, you can set up safe houses for your children to go to in an emergency. If something like that was to take place, then you'd know where they were. Set up code words. A lot of families do that. There should be code words that your children know from a very young age all the way till they get old. If anybody says your mom or your dad sent me to come get you and they don't know the code word, then guess what? Mom and dad didn't send them. Run. It's always important. And parents, it's a great investment to enroll your child in at least a basic self-defense course. I mean, most courses of karate schools are pay as you go, so you can quit even after a couple of months, but usually with about $50, your child can learn successful self-defense tactics. I mean, listen, if your child knows how to defend themselves, they certainly stand a better chance than a child who doesn't. And parents, it's a great idea. And Marie T says, be alert, be aware, and be nosy. That should be like a new motto for us. Parents, be alert, be aware, and be nosy. But parents, it's a great idea to practice defense tactics with your children. Go over a plan of what your children will do if they are approached or grabbed by someone. Make sure they know what they will do. God forbid they'll ever have to use it. Set up a plan of action. Role play. You can role play with the kids. Somebody tries to grab them. What are they going to do? They need to know what to do. So God forbid that situation happens. They won't freeze up. They'll be ready to go, ready to defend. And parents, you got to make sure the kids, you tell them when they're online or making videos that they are not talking or doing anything sexual. The biggest way to get a predator to contact a child is to have the child doing something sexual. sexual dance, sexual innuendo, little short shirt showing off the belly button, or the young boy with the boxers and no shorts on. Oh yeah, it's all over social media. Predators are seeing that, and they're being tempted by it, and they're going to contact your child. Who do you think they're going to contact? The young girl with the two-piece bathing suit on, who's exercising for the camera, or the woman who's fully clothed talking about her dog? I'm just saying. Kids should never share their real name, their phone number, or their location. They got to make sure it's not seen by anyone that them and their parents don't know in real life. The kids should not be talking to strangers online, and be careful of adults posing as kids. Listen, parents, kids aren't always going to know how to identify that. They're going to be totally convinced that this is just a 13-year-old girl who, look, there's photos. She goes to, swim classes, or she's doing, volleyball. Here's the pictures, mom. Here's the videos. Look, she's clearly a kid. Here's the school she goes to. No big deal. All of those things, number one, can be made with AI. Number two, can be pulled from anywhere else in the internet to create a fake profile. They can be pulled by a PDF file of some disgusting location and age and sex and gender, and trap your kids in a heartbeat. This is why, parents, you have to be nosy. You've got to know who your kids are talking to. You've got to have their passwords for their phone. You've got to be checking in randomly, because you'll know if something doesn't seem right. Because you know what? Those predators that are pretending to be kids, it's not going to take long before those conversations turn sexual. And that's how you'll know something's not right. And finally, sextortion. We've talked much about this, and we'll continue to talk about it. There is a thing called sextortion. This is when a predator obtains an indecent picture or pictures or video or videos of the child, then threatens to release to the public or to the school and other friends and all over online unless the child does things for them. A predator will create false profiles as someone the child's age or a bit older or younger, complete with pictures and videos taken from somewhere on the internet, then express a girlfriend or a boyfriend interest in the child to become a victim. Once that picture or video is sent, there is no getting rid of it. Even Snapchat holds 7 years of every snap that's been sent or received. Yeah, even Snapchat, when everybody thinks it just disappears after it's looked at, those things are held. Also, people use screen record. So as soon as they open a snap or a picture or a video, it's recorded and it's saved, and they will then use that against the child. And this can also very easily lead to a child being kidnapped. You're going to meet me over here, or I'm going to release this to everybody. You're going to pay me money, or I'm going to release this to the public. I know who your parents are. I can contact them right now. And I'm going to tell them that you sent me this picture, that you did this thing, and you're going to get in trouble. Sextortion is real, folks. Sextortion is real. But those are just some ways to help prevent your kids from being kidnapped. The key is you need to know who's around your kids. You have to know who's around your kids. And unfortunately, a lot of people are still not aware of the dangers. They're sleeping. And that's why we're asking you to donate to help us out. Again, nobody here takes a salary. This is not about money. This is about views, though, right? We want tons of views. We want tons of subscribers. Why? So we can say, look, we've got so many subscribers. Hey, look at us. Pat on the back. No, we don't care less about getting, the accolades of how many subscribers you got. We don't care about that. what we care about is the more people that are subscribed, the more views that we get on videos, means the more people are becoming aware and the more kids are going to be safe. That's the story. That's the plan. We can tell you that we've been asking for quite a while for just 100 people to donate $5 a month, and that would fund what we do, including social media advertising every week. And you're talking about reaching 30, 40,000 people a week with posts. Yeah, that's what social media promotions do. $100 a week reaches 30 to 40,000 people. Right now, our live podcast, 150 people. Unpromoted. What we're going to do for Jet. There has been a donation made to help out with that. And we're looking for more because we want to advertise this and get this out to every single person in that area. Somebody knows something about this truck or about the guy who drove it or about lickety splits. Maybe they delivered ice cream back then. Somebody knows something. And if the police aren't going to actively investigate it, then we will. And you can help us do that by making a donation today or by sharing our content and talking about the case and telling others, demanding justice for Jet. And we thank you in advance for that. Everybody that's been here tonight, we appreciate you. Please share this stream, share the podcast. We had a max of 5 people watching tonight. 5. Well, there may be more on Rumble, but we can't see those numbers. Jay from Michigan, we appreciate you. Dorothy Cook, thank you very much for being here. Marie T, you know we love you. All the work that you do. Thank you very much for all you do for the kids. Rising on Eagle's Wings and others watching out there. And for all the people that are going to watch on the podcast, we thank you too. We can't forget about you. Please leave us a comment if you're listening on the podcast. Let us know that it's not just bots that are clicking on the video. Let us know that it wasn't just a click and a click off. You know, drop a comment. Let us know where you're from, or offer some encouragement, or offer to donate. Do something. Ask questions about Jet in the case or Zachary's case or whatever. Let us know that you're watching out there. We'd greatly appreciate that. That's all for this week. This has been Saturday Night Child Protection Live with your host, Christopher Gelson, and Marie T, our co-director in the chat. Please reach out to us if anything we can do for you. We do background checks free of charge, no cost to you. We have lots of great information on our website to help keep kids safe, including the in-depth protection packet and tons of podcasts and live videos, topical podcasts, everything you need that can raise awareness and help you keep your kids safe. So I want to say, let's get justice for Jet. This is just the very beginning of what we're going to do for this poor boy and for his family. And we ask you to join with us in getting justice for Jet. We appreciate you, and we thank you for being here. Until next time, parents, continue to be nosy, stay safe, keep an eye on your kids. Times are different. You don't have to wrap them in bubble wrap and hide them from the world, but you definitely need to be educated and aware. So thank you for being here, everybody. God bless you. Have a great week. God willing, we'll see you next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Saturday Night Child Protection Live. Good night, and God bless.